Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. Things have been pretty quiet in the forums pretty much since we got the last DLC, so we haven't heard much from the devs on the forums lately, but we could take a look at an interview that was given by executive producer James Nance, so let's get this party started. So the article is DC Universe Online interview, current gen port, episode 46, and more. It always cracks me up when they say more. I'm not going to read the whole article. If you guys want to read the article, I will put a link in the description down below. But basically, they talk about the fact that DC Universe Online has been around for over 10 years, that it is one of the more successful MMOs out there, and also they're talking about next month we will get the next DLC. Obviously, this article is a bit old at this point, it's about a month old. So even though it dates from September 21st, there's a thing or two I thought that people would like to know from this article. And then they talk about DC Universe Online being around for over 10 years, having a pretty strong player base. Although, as expected, they don't mention any numbers, so they don't mention if that strong player base is 100,000 players, a million players, we just don't know. So they pretty much mentioned that you can create your character and fight alongside Wonder Woman and Batman, and they mentioned that the combat reflects pretty much what a classic superhero combat would be. But then they move on to the part that I think will interest most people. They are asking about the performance upgrades players can expect from DC Universe Online on current gen consoles. So they are talking about the game being a network game, and they want to be careful about balancing the new machines, the new machine power with player experience across the different platforms. They say they don't want to encourage pay to win. Yeah, I know, depending on your point of view on pay to win, depending on your definition of pay to win, some people believe that DC Universe Online is already pay to win. But here they mention pay to win in the context that they don't want the new platform to gain a significant advantage over the other platforms. And then they go on to mention that the current gen launch will also bring a number of quality of life improvements, and they're asking pretty much what those improvements would be. Obviously, at this point, they don't mention all that much, although they do mention that they will work a bit on their character creation. They do mention about how players get their characters created. They want to make impactful changes to how the game feel, which could mean anything. But they're also talking about the content, so they want all content to be accessible and feel engaging, and they want that for everyone, whether you're a player who's been playing for years and years, or a player who just created your first character. So they seem to want to go back and focus a bit more on character creation, but also they seem to still want to make all content relevant. The Omnibus and the Clamp were supposed to do that to make all content relevant, but going back to play old content is, let's say, very challenging to say the least. They will have to find a better option than the Clamp and then the Omnibus to encourage people to go back and play older content. I don't know what the solution would be, but I do know that what we do have right now isn't really working, sadly. And then they move on to talk a bit about the new DLC. We've had the new DLC for a few weeks now, so no point really talking about that. But the last bit that could be of interest to some people is the frame rate. So basically they're asking about the resolution and the frame rate for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. And here they mentioned that the frame rate is 60 frames per second, and they are still evaluating performance at 4K. Does that mean that they are going to give us 4K? No, but they're looking into it. Maybe they'll look into it and realize that 4K just doesn't work for whatever reason. Maybe they'll look into it and realize that 4K works great and makes DC Universe Online even much better. We don't know at this point, so I guess we will have to wait and see. So sadly, not a lot of info, but until they actually do make some sort of official new announcement, this is all we have. So basically the PlayStation and Xbox upgrade would be 60 frames per second, maybe 4K, possibly some addition to the character creation, or maybe a revamp of the character creation, and maybe some attempt to try to make older content more relevant. Sadly at this point in time, this is all the information we really have. We should be due for a new dev update. Last year we had one in September when they announced the Sins of Black Adam DLC and a few other things. Obviously September is behind us at this point, so we're kinda overdue for a new dev update. Hopefully we'll get one soon, maybe in November. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see for that.